Okay, so CENTCOM has launched additional strikes. This was because the IRGC decided to attack yet another oil tanker, which was flagged by Panama and had 2 million barrels of oil on it. This was a response to yesterday's strikes that the U.S. conducted, which were four against targets on Ketchum Island. And that was because the IRGC conducted a strike on a Singapore-flagged vessel. All this has taken place in the last 24 hours. It is now Saturday evening, June 27th, and the most recent strikes were basically focused on communications surveillance type targets on the coast of the Strait of Hormuz. And some people ask, well, why weren't these targets taken out earlier? And well, we still had about 5,000 more targets to strike before we put a ceasefire on the war, on the conflict. And so that's why there are still targets that remain. That said, the Trump administration is giving the IRGC every chance to correct their responses by basically not responding and living up to the signing of the MOU, of which we are still upholding. Now, I'm seeing a lot of comments, especially from people on the right, that are frustrated as to why Trump just doesn't give it to the IRGC. Why don't we just go in there and conduct a full-on regime change war-style invasion? And the answer is very clear. It's because of the midterms. And in case you were unaware, the Republicans stand a good chance of holding the House and the Senate. And so between now and then, and I realize that can be a long road, respectively, we are going to continue to play this measured approach as long as we can, so long as oil flows in some way, shape, or form. And it's not flowing just across the Strait of Hormuz. It's flowing out across pipelines across other countries like Saudi Arabia. So while that doesn't make up for the loss in the original flow out of the strait, it does definitely mitigate to a certain degree. And on top of that, it is speeding up long-term strategic plans to make sure the Strait of Hormuz never has a critical effect on the global oil supply again. And those plans are going to come into effect as early as 2027, between 27 and 35. And so there's both a short-term plan here and a long-term strategy at play. And if you don't understand that, I don't understand why you don't understand it. So instead of complaining about it, why don't you just continue to be patient? Why don't you practice some strategic patience like the administration is doing and not worry about it every single day?